Okay, so I had several different ideas for this video that I decided not to go for, including recording myself watching Doctor Who and making up something. So I've instead decided that I will be doing a bit of a recurring series on reading an excerpt of a novel that I have started and hopefully will finish before the end of this. This should hopefully push me into finishing it before I start. This is currently an untitled novel, but I have got chapter titles. So, Chapter 1, A New Beginning. The ancient city of Turnback was but stirring in its slumber as it maliciously stalked through the shadows among the third of the giant conglomeration owned by the Mages Guild, careful not to set off magical alarms. It snuck past the guards of the Science Foundation section of the city. Finally, it came into the portion of the city that was held by no major organization, but by the ruling council of Turnback. And there it stopped, after minutes earlier, depositing its cargo. Not deliberately, by any means. It stopped, because it had just run into someone's leg. The imp stepped back and looked up at the owner of the leg. Contrary to the imp's expectations, the limb belonged to a man of average human height. The armour he wore was strange, red and scaled like a lizard's flesh. At his waist was a longsword in a sheath, ruby pommelled and deadly. At his other side, a handgun rested in its holster. His head was coated in a thick mop of dark brown hair, underneath which smouldered intense blue eyes, of a shade of blue that is usually only seen in flames of a high temperature. Those eyes and his facial features in general gave an impression of intelligence that would not have been expected in a man of such musculature. The man sighed, clearly annoyed, and picked up the imp. Imps were not uncommon in the city. Many mages summoned them to act as familiars, and the small demons were apt for the job. What was rare was to see one of these 10-inch tall, scaly, horned, red creatures on its own. "Imp, who is your master?" the man asked inquiringly, and with just a touch of annoyance. When the imp remained silent, the man reached down towards his belt and swiftly and smoothly drew his sword, holding it so close to the imp's throat that the tip, which was almost impossibly sharp, scratched the imp's leathery skin. "Answer me!" the man demanded, his more passive nature replaced with impatience and anger. "Hebron, calm down!" exclaimed a voice from behind the man. And that's it for tonight. Check back with me next Sunday night for the next excerpt of Chapter 1. Yeah, every Sunday night until I've caught up with where I've got to the writing of, you will get an excerpt of the chapter that is next. Okay, so bye. See you tomorrow.